recording. All right, excellent. Again, thank you, everyone. Welcome. I'm glad you guys made it. We do have quorum, so we will move forward and, go Rams, right, Karen?
That's right. Whose house?
All right. So let's start with roll call. Okay, I will do that. Karen Waters.
Here.
Brian Allen.
Brian is muted, present.
Thank you. Alfredo Castillo.
I am here, sir.
Thank you, sir. Chris Coyle.
Present. Nice to see everybody. Happy New Year.
Likewise. Thank you, Chris. Graham Zach. He is going to be a bit late. Okay. Sid Gold. I do not see him. Okay. Thomas Hartfeld.
Present.
Present. Okay. Thank you, sir. Raheem Kazi.
I'm here.
Thank you, sir. Ralph Croy.
Here.
Thank you, sir. Nathan Lee.
Here. Hi, everyone.
Hello, sir.
Hey.
Thank you. Jason Lester. Not present. Okay. Citlali Manso is not present either. Robert Moore.
Present.
Thank you, sir. Danitza Pantoja.
Present.
Thank you. Alvin Waters.
Present.
Gotta say, love the background. Thank you.
Of course, myself present. So we have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 present. Okay. So we do have quorum. Excellent. All right. So let's move on to Pledge of Allegiance. Let's see, who do we have?
Mr. President, can I ask you a question? The
Yes, sir.
agenda,
What's that?
on the website and the agenda you sent to us, it says draft.
It says what?
It says draft all across it. Is that going to be? I'm going to type all over it, but I don't know how to remove the draft.
No, you shouldn't. Does it really say draft?
Yep.
The one I have posted is PDF, does not have draft. I think, are you looking at the draft that I sent just to the executive team on Saturday morning for review?
I don't know. I downloaded it from the website, our GHNNC website.
Oh my
Because
Lord.
normally that's got everything.
Well,
The one I have does not say draft, which is the one you circulated, Oscar. So I'm not sure if maybe there's a different one out there.
Okay, I will do my best to keep up.
Shouldn't be, because the one that I have doesn't have draft, and that's the one that I sent to Dunn, which it goes to Aaron, which is the one that should be posted. But but there should be. I don't think there's much of a change. Alfredo, I do have it. If you want me to share the screen.
No, I have it. I mean, if nothing's changed, I'm good with it. Yeah.
So I think we can move forward. Okay. So Pledge of Allegiance. I am going to. Ms. Chernovsky from Sheila Quell's office. Would you like to lead us on the Pledge of Allegiance?
You know what? If we can ask somebody else to do it, that would be wonderful.
Okay.
Thank you.
Fair enough. Let's see, who else do we have? Mr. Manriquez, you are new to our board. He is replacing our previous representative from Luz Rivas's office. So welcome. So would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
May I interrupt for a second, Oscar?
Yes.
You have both Jason Lester and Sid Gold in attendees.
In attendees. Okay, so can we make note that they just arrived at 6:38? Thank you, Brian. I will go ahead and move them to panelist. Thank you, sir. Okay, noted. Thank you. Arrival at 6:38. Okay, excellent. All right, Mr. Manriquez, would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Let's see if I got this right. Is that right? No, I got it wrong.
Yes, I would love to lead you guys in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay.
All right. So I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one
One
nation,
nation,
under God,
indivisible,
with
with liberty and justice for all.
You know what? I am so sorry. I should have promoted you to panelist so we can see who you are, Mr. Manriquez. And okay, let's see here. Alrighty, okay, so let's move on then. Oh, here we go. Now we know what Mr. Manriquez looks like and Ms. Chernovsky. Okay, excellent. Welcome. So let's move on to item B, comments from CD12, LAPD senior lead officers, elected official reps, government agencies, limited to 3 minutes. So we will start with Ms. Chernovsky from Sheila Quell's office. I hope I didn't mispronounce that.
Sheila Kuehl.
Kuehl.
Yeah,
Thank
you were
you.
close. Hello, everyone. So good to see you. As you know, this is a new group for our office since the boundaries changed. Supervisor Kuehl is your county supervisor. I don't know if you had supervisorial staff come before, but some people don't know what the Board of Supervisors does. A big part of what we've done, people are familiar with now, though, because we oversee the Department of Public Health. So you probably know Dr. Ferrer and others from DPH. And so if you have any questions related to COVID-19 and rules, you know, during the first year, this is all we did. We got calls every second of the day, but we're still available to answer your questions. Sometimes things are confusing. The new rules are confusing. Reach out and we can get you answers. The county also oversees Department of Mental Health, Department of Children and Family Services, Department of Public Social Services, Animal Care and Control, library systems, park systems. It's a huge array of responsibilities, but people often don't know, you know, what's the state, what's federal, what's local. Like we don't do, you know, your roads and, you know, we have public works, but it's just for unincorporated areas. But anyway, we often, if people don't know, they can reach out to us and we can refer you to someone else if we need to. But just wonderful to meet you all. I am Tessa Chernovsky. I am the district director for Supervisor Kuehl. Our office is located in Calabasas. So we cover all of the West Valley and the mountain communities through like Westlake Village and Malibu. We have another office that covers the eastern part of the valley, and then we have a West LA office. It's a massive district. You probably know that Supervisor Kuehl is not running for election again. She's not termed out, but her career has been really exciting and wonderful and broad. And, you know, she was a well-known actress and she was a law professor, and then she became a state legislator and now a county supervisor, and she's 80 years old and she's done. So, well, not fully done, but she's decided not to run again. So the only substantive thing I wanted to tell you about, and I met with some folks at the Granada Hills Chamber meeting today, is about the latest on the eviction moratorium, which is now called tenant protections. There have been some changes. We know that people have, during the pandemic, really struggled with income that has been inconsistent. And our goal is to not increase homelessness. So to make it easier for people to stay in their homes and to support businesses that are really struggling where their income is not steady. So, but one thing that has changed is while we had protections for commercial tenants, those are phasing out. So now if a commercial tenant is not paying rent because of COVID-19, they are eligible for eviction. Of course, if someone doesn't pay rent, they're supposed to pay, back pay, they're not off the hook. But again, protections have been aimed at trying to help people that are really struggling. Eviction protections for residential places have once again been put into place through June. And then in June, from June until, oh gosh, I don't know when it ends. It's not forever. The only people who are lower income are eligible to be protected if they can't pay rent because of COVID-19. Those are the folks that are eligible for state subsidies. But anyway, I know it's confusing. Again, it's another reason to reach out. I have a link with our Department of Business and Consumer Affairs that explains, it's everything, 101 on tenant protections. So I don't know, I don't see a chat, but I'm happy to send this to Oscar. I think I might have your email somewhere. I can send you a link for folks that are really interested in learning more about, the tenant protections and anything else related to the county. I think my 3 minutes are up.
Yes, thank you, Tessa.
Great, thank you. Questions? Sid, you have your hand up? You have the floor.
Okay, thank you, Tessa. Just a couple questions. One has to do with what the supervisor's view about our district attorney's policies in policing, whether she has any view on that. And the second question is, the opportunity to watch the football game on Sunday, and there was a lot of unmasked people. And so what are these mask mandates in the city about, just for those that we can catch and keep them out of restaurants? Are we opening the stadium? So I just want to know what the supervisor's opinion about the mask mandates are.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say exactly what Supervisor Kuehl thinks if she were standing right here, but I can tell you what I understand her policies have consistently been on justice reform. She's very much in favor of helping people with, recovery, helping people be diverted from, long-term stays in jail and into programs that help them recover and prevent recidivism. So that's been a longstanding priority of hers. I think that there's a real perception that Gascon has been sort of releasing people without any thought. But if you actually hear him speak, what he insists is that he does follow the laws. So what he has changed, and I'm not defending him, I am not him, but I know he has changed. He now, juveniles are not tried as adults, so that is different. There are some other changes, but the supervisor has been very consistently supportive of efforts to rehabilitate and enact justice reforms. On masking, yeah, I mean, Dr. Barbara Ferber, the county's policy is that you're supposed to be masked unless you're eating. So if people are not following those directions, that's too bad. It's not helpful.
But you're closing down businesses when they don't follow the rules.
You know what? I actually don't think that there's an example of that. Well, there's, I think, 2 in the county that have been fined because they were open during the period when we didn't allow indoor or outdoor dining, and they consistently didn't follow the rules. So the county went through all kinds of legal processes, and but I think there's just been 2. Yeah.
Thank you, Ms. Chernovsky. I have, let's see, Robert, you've got your hand up. You've got the floor. And then I see someone on the attendee list. I will come to you after.
Yeah, just a quick question on what the supervisor's plan is now that she's been redistricted to include our area, what her plan is for the homeless population that is plaguing Granada Hills, especially along Rinaldi, with the RVs and the trash that they bring along.
Yeah, I mean, homelessness is one of the top priorities for every, I think, every level of government. With Measure H dollars and also with Project Room Key and Project Home Key, we've been able to actually get a lot done in Canoga Park. And then we've got a place in West LA, the Armory. We have a site in Sylmar. We've been able to open up bridge housing sites with support from the local city council person. The one in Canoga Park has been just fantastic. I think it serves around 85 people. We need to open those everywhere with support from, from the local government as well.
Yeah, an estimated 60,000 people on the streets.
Right, I know.
65 doesn't make a difference. It doesn't.
Right, it's true. One of the greatest challenges we've had is getting people to agree, though, to actually open up sites for people. So, there's a project in Woodland Hills right now that is just under consideration that would house families, parents with children, 100 of them. It's in a hotel, and people are protesting. So it's very, very hard to get people to agree. Right now, there's a lot of money with Project Home Key and Room Key to convert hotels and motels and other sites. Getting community to come and say yes is absolutely essential. If you or any of you are interested in finding solutions, reach out. There are organizations that really we could use your support. We need community to come together and say yes, and we need to identify locations that can be converted into supportive housing.
And how about enforcing vagrancy laws instead of just pushing, these people aside? I mean, that's really what's happening. We're going to push them into tiny homes. We're going to push them into this little temporary bridge housing, and 30 to 60 days later, guess where they're back? On the street.
Well, I think what's important is to look at the facts and see, how often people that are in these sites actually find permanent housing, or, how long they're there. We hear a lot of stories that people are leaving en masse, and that's not necessarily true. So I think, if you're interested in learning a little bit more about the bridge housing site that's in Canoga Park, I'd be happy to connect you to those folks, and they can send you the actual facts on the ground. It's a huge problem, and we all need to come together to find solutions.
Okay, I'm going to move on to the next one. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Ms. Sharnowski. There's a few others that have questions for you. I'm going to go with, is that Mr. or Miss Hales? Who's on the phone? And then Brian, I'll come to you.
Okay, it's John Hales.
Good evening, Mr. Hales. You've got the floor.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, a quick question. Hopefully you can answer it just as quick. With the recent affirmation that evictions are still being blocked, if you will, is there any movement towards stopping raising increases on rent?
In unincorporated LA County properties that were built in a certain time frame, you're not allowed to raise the rent. I am not sure in the city of Los Angeles. I think that you would need to go, because this is the city of LA, so we would have to ask the city council person. But that is one of the biggest challenges for people and why they can't afford rent. As we all know, rents have gone up astronomically, and much more than salaries, and so people aren't able to afford their rent. And that often leads to people, leaving and ending up on the streets.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Brian?
Yes, I know this doesn't, it may or may not apply to the county, but I'm becoming very concerned about the concept of gift of public funds, because we are, as a city, providing benefits to individuals because of things like COVID and because of personal things like homelessness, and we're not able to apply that concept of gift of public funds fairly, and it's becoming a very concerning issue for me. Mm-hmm. We're picking and choosing who we give funds to, who we support, and how we support, and we're making the concept of gift of public funds a political issue. We've got to take a hard look at that. The city is not being fair to all its constituents. It's just a comment being made, and I think it should be passed along to everybody in government.
Okay. One response would be, it's sort of depends on how you defined a gift of public funds, because homeowners, for example, get huge tax breaks. I'm one of them. And that could be considered a gift of public funds. So it really just depends on your definition. People in the agriculture industry get subsidies. People in the oil industry get subsidies. So it just depends on your perspective.
I understand what you're saying, but it is a real burden for the NC system at this time. That's all.
Thank you, sir. Let's see, we have one more person in the attendee, and then we're going to move on to the next representative. Fortis, is that it?
I see Kazi, Mr. Kazi.
Yeah, you just unmuted me. It's been stated that you've got 60,000 homeless.
Probably more than that in the county.
Yeah, okay, and that makes the argument even better. And it seems that homeowners, property tax, are paying, and sales tax and so on. Billions of dollars have been spent, and the most common observation is, what have we accomplished? Are we giving $750,000 homes to a homeless person while the taxpayer has spent the better part of their lives trying to pay off a home, maintain it at enormous expense? And it's very concerning to me that the best response I've heard from you, don't take it personal, but that you've housed 85 people and you have the potential of housing another 100. I don't know. I don't know how you balance your books, but billions of dollars for a pittance of people, helped does not equate. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, there have been many thousands of people in LA County who have been housed, and unfortunately, that number or more fall into homelessness too. So it feels like we're digging, we're finding solutions and then, not getting anywhere. It's very, very complicated. Again, this comes down to philosophy. I mean, it depends on if you you're dealing with someone who maybe they've made bad choices. Maybe they've grown up in a cycle of poverty. I'm a social worker by training. I've been, my orientation is to really respect people and where they're at and feel like they are doing their very best. But sometimes people don't make it for whatever reason. It could be institutionalized racism. It could be someone has a disability. It could be drug addiction. We don't know. It could be poverty, but we have a choice as a society. We can let them struggle and suffer, or we can try to help. And it's very, very, very hard. But I'm happy to provide statistics. We can look up the LASA site that has it explains, all the data regarding how many people have been housed. The homeless count is coming up. We could use your help there too, to see if the numbers have gone up or down. And we all together need to find solutions. And let me just say, I love it that you're all asking questions, because whenever I go to neighborhood councils, everyone's quiet. So even though we may have different ideas philosophically, this is really wonderful. And I'm so glad that you're asking these questions.
Okay, I'm going to do one more, Raheem, and then we're going to move on. Okay, so Raheem, you've got the floor.
Okay, thank you so much for your information, all the information you're giving. But I fail to understand that you made a comment that as a property owner, people are getting breaks. I have not heard anything what property owner is getting break about paying the property taxes, other than there is no late payment penalty assessed. Is that the one you are talking about? Or?
Oh no, I'm referring to taxes back at the end of the year. If you file for your taxes, property owners get a discount on the property taxes that they pay. They get money back.
On the contrary, the property tax and California income tax has been reduced or limited to only 10,000. So there has not been discount.
It's true. It is harder, right? Because of the Trump administration, right?
Exactly.
That
right.
is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
So it's not a discount, or it
depends on how much your house is worth. I get money back on mine because it's not worth that much. I guess.
Okay.
But I hear you.
Thank you, Ms. Chernovsky. Thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
I'm going to move on to our next government representative, Mr. Manriquez from Luz Rivas's office. You have the floor.
Excuse me, Oscar, just one more, excuse me, sorry for interrupting, but Matt Biasia actually needs to leave and asked if you could please accommodate him. Thank you.
When did he, okay. All right, I'm gonna move on to Matt Biasia. Thank you, Karen. Matt, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. I apologize. I don't have a lot of time I can spend tonight, so I won't be taking questions. If you have any questions, just send me an email and I will definitely try to get you an answer as quickly as possible. Just wanted to give a quick update tonight. Recently, Councilman Lee had joined Senator Henry Stern for a press conference that's announcing new legislation to combat the problem of street racing, which is an issue that has become all too prevalent in the San Fernando Valley. Our communities directly feel the negative impact of street racing from noise, disturbances, damaged infrastructure, loss of revenue for businesses. Street racing is not a victimless crime, and it can lead to senseless deaths that can impact anybody, including the drivers, passengers, onlookers, and most tragically innocent bystanders. The new legislation is a no-nonsense approach to street racing that invests in resources like Highway Violence Task Force and enhances penalties, which will include vehicle impoundment and demolition. Councilman Lee will always fight for measures such as this that will increase public safety in the streets and our communities. I also wanted to mention Councilman Lee introduced recently a motion that requested the Board of Recreation and Parks and Commissioners to rename Porter Ridge Park to E.T. Park in commemoration of the park's iconic appearance in the film E.T. Extraterrestrial. Those are just two of the legislative updates that I wanted to give. I also wanted to quickly mention that there is, for homeowners that need sewer repair, there is financial assistance coming from LA Sanitation for 2 lateral rebates on a first-come, first-served basis. So we want to make sure that our constituents know about that so they can apply and take advantage of the city's funds that are available to help people when it comes to property owners, either residential, commercial, industrial, that have to pay a sewer service fee to the city. They're all eligible. And also, just wanted to mention that there are LA Sanitation currently is experiencing, as a result of COVID-19 staffing issues, there are, with our quarantine protocols, staffing shortages that have led to trash pickup delays. So just wanted to make sure, if you do experience a delay in your trash pickup, you can always call our office or LA Sanitation, and we will try to see what we can do to get that remedied as soon as possible so that the trash is removed and you can use your bin the next week. Also, I think that's all I had for tonight, but please, if you have any questions about the things I've mentioned, feel free to email me, and I will be happy to try to get back to you as soon as possible with answers or more details. And with that, I just want to say thank you, everybody, for giving me the time to speak tonight, and wish you all a happy new year and blessings this new Chinese New Year. So thank you very much, Grand Hills North. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move on then, Mr.
And congratulations are in order to Mr. Biasia. Congratulations on your marriage. I think he dropped off the call.
Okay, Mr. Manriquez, you've got the floor from Luz Rivas's office.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me tonight. So as you guys know, I'm the new field representative, and I will be taking over Miguel's communities. So I just want to let you guys know to contact me if you guys have any steady issues. Go ahead and contact me. I'm gonna go ahead and drop my email in the comment section. Just wanted to let you guys know, I don't think before the transition happened, I don't think we communicated with you guys about the town, about the homeless town hall that we had this Saturday. Just wanted to let you guys know that if you guys log into Assemblywoman's website or Facebook, it's actually there. So yeah, it's actually there. It's recorded, And I know that homelessness is a really big issue within our community. So there's a lot of information out there. There was presentations from Caltrans, LASA, and CHP, all regarding how homelessness works and pretty much how Assemblywoman Rivas is securing a good budget to be used to combat homelessness. So that's one, and just wanted to let you guys know about the Woman of the Year. Our office is taking applications for that. So if you guys know an inspiring woman of distinction, please feel free to fill the application. It's also on the Assemblywoman's website, and the deadline for that it's February 4th. And that would be it for my end. If you guys have any questions I could answer.
Yes. So let's see. We had Sid Gold. You were first, and then Karen, I'll come to you. Sid, you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Salvador. A couple questions. The single-payer tax bill died today. I just was wondering where the Assemblywoman stood on that bill. And the second had to do with the composting bill that was passed. I'm not sure when is that ever going to come into existence. The city is not prepared for it. And how do you understand the regulations? Because I can't understand them. So maybe you can explain them to me on the composting law.
Yeah, so regarding 1400, the Assemblywoman was actually for it. She was a co-author of it. She was one of the authors, I'm sorry. And yeah, unfortunately that didn't have enough votes, so it couldn't move forward. Regarding your second inquiry, I'm not too familiar with it, but what I could do is do my research and get back to you.
Appreciate it. You can reach me through the Granada Hills. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I will. Can I have your name, please, sir?
Sydney Gold. Sydney first name, Gold last name.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. Yes, I will reach out to you.
Thank you.
Oscar, you're on mute.
Oh my God, thank you. I'm sorry. So let me repeat. So Sydney, I'll send you Salvador's email, so that way you have another way to get a hold of him.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Al. I was talking to my son. So, anyways, Karen, you got the floor.
Thank you. Hello, Salvador. Welcome. Quick question regarding Ms. Rivas's district. Is it still portions of Granada Hills North, and then part is for Ms. Valadares? Do you have information on the new map?
Yeah. So basically, we still represent you until the new borders take effect, which would be until the election day, which would be November, December. So till then, we still represent you. Okay. Because you guys voted Assemblywoman in, so we still represent you.
Okay, thank you.
Fair enough. Good question, Karen. Thank you. Alvin.
Yes, hi. I guess I was gonna ask if you have any updates from Caltrans, I guess, of what's going on with, there's been an ongoing issue with the lighting on a lot of the freeways. One of them actually kind of hits home for me. There's on the off-ramp of Woodley between Chatsworth and San Fernando, we're noticing in the overpass part on the street level that the lights are out and it's completely dark. So I'm just kind of curious if you know anything like as far as the reasoning behind that, just why there's so many areas now where lighting is out on the freeways, which I mean is a very dangerous thing. Not to mention, I mean, with us being in a budget surplus, just kind of boggles my mind as to why that's going on.
Yeah, that's a really good question. So what I could do for you is I could file a report with Caltrans if you could give me the specifics of where it is, and then we could move forward with that. That's how Caltrans works. So same thing goes for homelessness. If you guys know any encampment, please let me know so I could follow up with Caltrans and flag that encampment. But I would need the specific site. So can I contact you? So you could give me the specifics of where it is. You could contact me. I don't know, whatever works for you. And like I said, let me know and I could go and flag that for Caltrans and then keep you updated and the process.
I will, I'll take your email down.
Yeah, and I don't think I'm gonna have the possibility of typing my email because I'm on my phone, so I don't think I could type it in. So if
I'm gonna send an email to now Salvador's address.
Yeah,
so
that's perfect.
That'll work.
Yep. So I will send that out here shortly. Let's see. Okay. I don't see any more hands up. Okay, so let's go on then to Mr. Gibson Niambura. Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Mr. President?
Great. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
No, thank you. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope you guys are doing great. I'm definitely excited for just kind of want to touch base with everybody, circling back on making sure that all board members have completed their trainings. I want to appreciate everybody who's reached out if they have any questions. We've definitely circled back in some of the points that was brought up in last week's meeting, and I wanted to just circle back on that one. It's something that the department did take into consideration, and so we'll definitely. I don't have a good answer at the moment, but it's something that I vocalized the message and concern that folks had brought up last board meeting. Also want to touch base that the department is hired up. We are fully staffed in terms of board members.
Nice.
And so we definitely have a few more staff. So definitely the workload has eased up for a lot of us NEAs. So things will definitely be much faster. The department is also still looking to hire up on a couple of things, but we're definitely moving in the right direction. So please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. And with that, hope you guys have a great board meeting.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Niambura? I don't see any hands. Okay, we'll move on to, let's see, who else do we, Mr. Steinberger, you said you're from the gas company?
Yeah, hey, how are you? Thanks so much for having me. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, we can. Thank you for joining us.
Great, yeah. I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Ben Steinberger. I just started at SoCal Gas about a month ago. I am filling in for David Meza, who I'm sure you all know, who has moved to another part of the company. And so I just wanted to come here and introduce myself and say hello and be a resource for all of you if you have any questions or anything that is going on or anything like that. I'm happy to be here, and I hope I can answer any questions that you have. I will also leave my email address with you, my contact information, and so going forward, I will do my best to keep you guys as much in the loop as I can, and I look forward to working with all of you. But I appreciate you giving me a couple minutes here to say hello.
No, welcome, and thank you for your time. And so, yes, if you could send me your email or the board, and then that way I will add it to the Zoom meeting, so that way you will get the invite to our regularly scheduled meetings.
I definitely. What is your email?
My email is Oscar Jimenez.
Okay.
.csave@gmail.com.
.csave.
Yes, CSAVE.
At gmail.com. Okay, great.
And I will put you on the Zoom meeting, and
perfect.
Thank you. So I do have a hand up.
Yeah.
Sid.
Thank you for joining us. So I have a question about the future, whether how the gas company is looking at two things in the future, that as we've cut down on shale production and what the cost of gas will be, let's say, over the near future. Do you think it's going to rise much more than it is now, or is it going to be stable? And secondly, how is the gas company approaching this concept of zero fossil fuels in the city of Los Angeles? So.
Yeah, I appreciate both of those questions. For your first question, I honestly, I don't know any more about the future of natural gas prices than I don't think that anybody can predict right now. I can look into getting an answer to that for you, and if I can try and figure something out or talk to somebody at the company who might be more aware of the future of gas prices.
The cost is going up for everybody, so I'm just curious to what's.
No, I totally understand. And I think to your other question, we recently put out a new Aspire 2045 plan, and it's an incremental plan that moves us into being a fully zero emission company by the year 2045. And so there are various stages of it. Everything from moving our vehicles over to 100% renewable hydrogen vehicles, to our facilities running on hydrogen power, to eventually moving over to blended natural gas, which has hydrogen in it, that is going to our power stations and into our homes, and renewable natural gas, as using it as a resource. So there are a lot of different ways that we're trying to tackle the climate crisis. And if you're interested, I would be happy to also forward over that plan to all of you if you're interested. You'll have my email address. Feel free to reach out. Sorry?
I'd like to have a look, especially if there's an executive summary or something like that.
There definitely is. Yeah, it's a pretty weighty paper. So I think it's about 65 pages, and I think there's a couple page executive summary, and I can definitely get that over to you. I'll send it to Oscar, but if you want to reach out, I can get you my email address as well.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Sid. Alvin.
I was just curious as to if you know how much longer the rebate will be going on for residents who were installing rooftop solar with energy storage.
I'm not sure I'm following. Maybe there's a program that I'm not aware of. So you have solar panels right now?
No, so I worked for a solar company about a year, a company in residential. So there was an ongoing rebate program
from
SoCal Gas, where for those residents who have rooftop solar with an energy storage system, there's been an ongoing rebate for that.
I do not know the answer to that, but I will definitely look into it, and I can definitely get back to you if you want to. I can either get your email now, and I can email you directly about it if you want that, or if you want to reach out to me, and I can get back to you, whatever's easiest for you.
I could take your email.
Yeah, great. Everybody else can take it as well if you want to.
Sounds good.
It's B and then Stein, B-E, so the same as my name on there. So BSTEINBE at SoCalGas.com.
Okay. Very good. Thank you, sir. Okay, I don't see any other hands.
Thanks so much. I really appreciate the time, everybody.
Thank you, and welcome to our NC.
I appreciate it.
And I'll add you to the Zoom.
Perfect.
Okay, next one. Let's see. We have who else do I have?
Richard.
Richard, yeah, Mr. Fisk.
That would be me. Thank you for calling on me. As far as the police report, I don't have a lot to report. I haven't been at the station lately. I have heard that the burglary and theft of motor vehicles and grand theft auto is one of the main concerns right now, and it's still going up. And of course, property crimes, the package thefts are still a problem in this area. We're still having some traffic issues with speeding, but generally, we're not as bad as the rest of the city, even though we used to be #1, the safest division in the city. We're down to, I think, number 21 right now. but they're working on plans to improve everything. Of course, they have daily meetings, or at least Monday, with the CompStat to look at their statistics and see what each senior lead can do. And speaking of senior leads, you have an opportunity this Thursday, the 3rd, at the Mid-Valley Regional Library. It's basically at Nordhoff and Woodley. All the SLOs will be there, and some of the command staff. It's basically a community outreach meeting. And with that, that's really all I have to say, or able to say about the police report.
Thank you, Richard. Any questions? Karen.
Hi, Karen.
Hello, Richard. Thank you. Just a quick question about the police staffing for the next few weeks coming up to the Super Bowl. I read a memo this morning about are the vacations, I guess it's all hands on deck for the next few weeks.
Yeah, it's mostly for the football game, you know, it's on the 14th, I guess it is, the 13th. But they are bringing in people over time. There are still a lot of people out on COVID problems, you know, isolation, and for that, still some long-term problems with some of the SLOs being there. But they have put out a request for all us volunteers to help where we can, especially with traffic, which we were able to do.
Okay, thank you.
And it's a citywide thing. It's not just Devonshire, but they're
Right.
all from all over the city for the football game.
Sure. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Sid.
Mr. Gold.
Thank you, Richard.
Hi, Doc.
How you doing? Congratulations again. Anyway, couple questions. Just on whether you have any information or not on statistics. You know, do they keep statistics on these sort of low-level crimes? Let's say the looting of TJ Maxx, was that considered a crime? Would that be a statistic, or was did that get go unnoticed basically by the police department as if?
No, every crime that's reported is a statistic, and it's reported. They go over it every Monday. They have a.
Oh, something like that would be reported as a crime?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay, just nothing was done about it.
That brings up another point. Some people say crime is down, but a lot of businesses are not even reporting crime because they know what's going on in the city and the state. Nothing's going to happen to them. There was a motion that the United Chambers just supporting, AB 1603, which would lower the threshold of shoplifting, as we should call it, from $950 down to $400. That's just one bill that's trying to chip away and trying to do away with Prop 47.
And the question is, do you have any number of police that are maybe losing their jobs if they don't get a vaccination? Have a number in that?
No, I don't have that number. I think there's something like 1,200 out of the 12,000 employees, which includes the civilians, that are being questioned about their vaccination status.
Thank you. Seems a strange way to treat people who've been unvaccinated and first responders. Anyway, my comment.
Okay, thank you, Richard. I don't see any other hands up. So thank you so much for the information, for joining us. Appreciate it. Thank you, sir. I don't see anyone else. Okay. All right, so let's move on then. And we will move on to, public comment on agenda and non-agenda items. Mr. Fisk, yes, sir.
That mute system. Tessa mentioned today we had a meeting at the Granada Hills Chamber of Government Affairs, and the question was brought up, as Sid mentioned, about the organic waste. It is a law in the city of Los Angeles, or is it also in the county? I'm not sure. I was just wondering if maybe Chris Coyle can let us know from his standpoint. I think what I understand about that law or rule is that you're supposed to separate your food waste as of now, but there's no way of enforcing it or no way of the city to accommodate it. And maybe Chris can at some point bring what he knows about it. The other issue, I just a question for the Plum Committee, or does anyone know the status of the what we used to call the 440 project? It was approved at some format, but we weren't sure what the final format is. Obviously, it's under construction now, but I don't know if anyone has seen the final plans, how it's going to be built.
So let's go to.
The last we heard is it is a 229 condos rather than 440 apartments. And the retail portion of it, I think, is 60,000 square feet, but I don't quote me on that. We haven't seen any further information on it, and I suggest we probably should ask the Plum Committee to get with the city and find out what the final plans were.
That is a good point, Richard, and I believe Karen, you brought that up as well. So we will work with Thomas to have that, see if we can get in contact. I think you had suggested with the developers, see if they could come to the Plum Committee.
Right. Well, I spoke with Mitch Canada, who is the project manager, and he will have an update at the Plum Committee meeting, which will be, I don't remember the day, but Thomas will have an agenda ready with that information. So we will have someone from the developer's office should be present, or I will have a report from them, either one.
Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome.
Very good. And let's see, Chris, Mr. Coyle.
Yeah, I was just saying, point of order, this is public comment, right? We're probably not supposed to be responding.
Good point. Thank you. Thank you. All right.
I believe, Oscar, those were points of clarification, but Chris is right. We should not be commenting too much.
No, I agree.
Understood.
Correct. Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. I don't see anyone else for public comment. I don't see any hands. Okay, let's move on then, and we will move on to item D. First one is motion to approve the GHNNC January 4th, 2022 board meeting minutes. Everyone should have received that. So does anyone have any questions or comments on the document? I'm happy to share it if you'd like.
Motion to approve, Oscar.
Second.
Okay. Karen motions to approve. Brian seconds that. Okay. All right. So let's go with, are there any opposed to the board meeting minutes? Okay, I hear none. Any abstentions? I hear none. Okay, therefore it is unanimous. This motion passes. All right. Second item, discussion and motion to approve the December 2021 MER. Brian, did you want to share that?
I don't have it up at this moment. Okay. If you have it, please do, or I can go find it.
Let's see. Did you? I'm looking through my emails. Did you email it just recently?
Let me.
I don't see it. Let's move on to the next item, and then if you could
give me. Do I have screen share capability?
No, I can do that. I can give that to you right now. Just give me a moment. You are now a co-host, so you should have the ability to share your screen.
Okay. Can everybody see this?
There you go. Thank you. All right. Yep.
All right. We are sitting with $30,000 net available. As you can see, the only expenses was Mission Hills self-storage. I do know that that there are some back bills for our web designers a website, so I will get Andrew caught up. The one thing that should be understood, obviously everyone knows about the Granada Hills Community Foundation. That was paid, but it wasn't cashed yet. But neither one of those were cashed yet. They have been turned over to the Community Foundation. There is one thing that I should bring to everyone's attention who, if you don't know it, and that is that the NPG for $3,500 to EHR was denied. While I cannot address that personally, I won't make any comments about it, but I would say to Oscar and Karen, that as executives, as executive committee, that both Andrew and Craig will probably be talking to you about that.
Okay.
But as you know, I cannot address it.
Okay. Yeah, just have them call me.
Yeah.
Or is this something I need to reach out to the city clerk's office?
I'm going to leave it up to them to discuss with you, because any comment that I might make would be improper. All right.
Understood. Okay. Sounds good.
So with that, any questions about this MER? I don't see any.
I don't see
I don't hear any.
No. Okay.
So let me get a pen and I'll take the vote on this. All right. Voting on the MER, to approve the MER. For me, yes. Karen?
Yes.
Sid?
Yes.
Oscar?
Yes.
Raheem?
Yes.
Alfredo?
Yes.
Ralph, you're completely up to date. So Ralph?
Yes.
Danitza?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
Alvin?
Yes.
Nathan?
Yes.
Robert?
Yes.
And that's unanimous. Thank you very much.
Righty. So just send me the BAC, Brian, and I'll get that signed for you. Sounds good. Okay, and there is no MER for January because it's too early, so we should be seeing that next month. Okay. Let's see here.
Hit the wrong thing. Sorry.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right. Item 4, D4, discussion and motion to approve an MPG for VCC volunteers cleaning communities up to an amount of $1,500. That was emailed to everyone, and if you want, I can share it. And we do have on the call Miss Jill Mather, who is going to talk about this MPG and give us some information in terms of what they do. Miss Mather, welcome.
Thank you.
But before we move on, does anybody want to see the NPG?
I'm listening to you.
I got it.
We should see it. We should have it on. We're gonna put something.
Okay, so let me share. If I can get this right. Here we go. Okay, so you should see the document now.
There I am.
So Miss Mather,
hello.
Go for it. Welcome, and you have the floor.
Thank you very much. So I'm Jill Mather, the founder of Volunteers Cleaning Communities. A little bit about what we do is we are a group of volunteers. We formed in 2020, October, and we clean anywhere we can. I adopted the 118 freeway, so I have 3.5 miles between Balboa and Tampa, which falls into your area.
Oscar, can you mute everybody so we can hear her?
Yes,
Please?
I was gonna say, people mute yourselves, please, because there's too much background noise.
So instead of commenting verbally, I got to redo it.
Only one person was doing it. Sure.
So as my group title is Volunteers Cleaning Communities. It's more than one. We did adopt the 118 freeway between Tampa and Balboa on both the north and south side, and we clean that. Been doing that for over a year. It's a 5-year commitment, which I hope to extend after that because we really love doing that. We do also clean within that. There's lots of illegal or abandoned encampments that we find. And my partner, Don Larson, who is Northridge Beautification Foundation, and I do active encampments as well. I adopted the LA River, which is not in your section, but we clean the LA River once a month with the LA River Watchers and Walkers between Winnetka and Owensmouth. We clean wherever we think it is, illegal dump sites. Monday, we cleaned the Sepulveda Basin area, which is where the LA River goes in and then it dumps in there. It's the catch basin. So we pulled out 37 massive bags of rugs and everything else from the homeless that washes down the washes in the rivers before it gets to the ocean. That's a little bit about what I do. My goal, this is my retirement nonprofit, full-time, unpaid goal to change the mindset of littering in San Fernando Valley to start, but then I'm headed to America because I'm going to live till 100. My mother's 97 and still volunteering. So I'm going to keep going as long as she is my mentor in doing that. So with that said, my goal is to get people involved. What the MPG is to this year, my goal, last year I was self-funded completely, and we have over 575 volunteers right now, and that does cost quite a bit of money. My goal this year is to get a team leader, a VCC team leader in every community in the San Fernando Valley. That is my goal, above and beyond other goals, but that's the main goal. What that will do for me, I already have 5 within the San Fernando Valley. What that will do for me is get cleanups all in the same day. So right now, if I had one in every single community in the Valley, which Saturday seems to be the big thing to clean, we clean 5 to 6 times a week, my volunteers and I, every day, all but one. I usually give them Sunday off, but now we're doing beautification, so I guess they're not going to get that off. That would mean that we would have cleanups going all at one time, which would be significant. But that does cost because I give them their kit. I don't expect my volunteers to pay for anything that shouldn't be. They volunteer their time. Therefore, they have to have grabbers, vests, bags, and we can't use the white bags that are meant for leaves because you can't put heavy stuff in that. It's about signage, it's about business cards, it's about social media, it's about brooms for the beautification, it's all the tools that they need to do what they need to do so that volunteers don't have to bring anything, gloves, etc. That's the way you get volunteers. If they have to bring their own things, they're not going to volunteer. So the NPG is really to do that, to develop that person in your area. We're already cleaning your area. We're already doing Rinaldi. We're doing, Balboa. We're doing the freeway, etc. And we're going to expand Rinaldi because there's a massive bad homeless site there on Rinaldi and Wilbur that we need to get off that street. And that's on our agenda to do within the next couple of weeks and get that off. I don't like to leave the bags for 311. I think 311 has enough going on with all the illegal dumping and with all the stuff that people are leaving on the streets and all the bags of leaves, which we do too. When you clean up a street like Devonshire, which we did recently, we had 80 bags of those leaves. I mean, it's just impossible for them to get to that when they can only pick it up once a week. And this is the leaf season. So we take our own bags. We get rid of them. Don Larson, my partner, luckily we have a very good relationship with LA Sanitation, and most of the time we can bring our things to them, but sometimes we have to bring them to the dump. And in order to get them off the street, you got to go to the dump and get it away. If you keep bags on the street, especially if you're doing abandoned homeless sites or anything that is in a black bag, not a white bag that's leaves, you know, you're asking for animals to break into it, or you're asking for the unhoused to go through it again if you don't get it off the street, because that's usually what we're pulling off the street is a lot of unhoused clothing, food, etc. Our group was one that actually cleared Balboa and Devonshire. Between Dawn and myself, it took us 6 visits in our massive truck to whittle down Balboa and Devonshire to the point where there was only 1 tent left. And at that point, the city came in and helped to move Javier away from that. And then we went in and did the beautification. So we didn't just clear it. We went in and we bleached the sidewalks. We planted birds of paradise within the planter boxes because we wanted to give the community, we wanted to give that street back to the community. And so it isn't just cleaning. It's really about giving back our streets and giving back the beauty of what we have and we enjoy to the San Fernando Valley. We do lots of things. We're going to do our very first, by the way, all street cleaning. That means one day we're going to go from the 118 all the way to Ventura, and we're going to clean starting with Topanga, because I live in Chatsworth. We're going and cleaning the entire street of Topanga on one day with our volunteers, each one volunteering for 2 hours. That's pretty phenomenal. For Earth Day, we're actually going to do all of Ventura from Universal City all the way to Topanga Boulevard, which will be phenomenal to be able to do that, because it takes rallying all those volunteers and coming up with creative ways to get the communities involved to be able to do those things. So we'll do Rinaldi, you know, from the 405 all the way to, you know, Topanga at one time as well. Got to start somewhere and rally them. So my NPG is really to get a VCC leader to be able to equip them with what they need to be able to do their own cleanups. I support them as well. And that's really what it's all about. I relish questions.
Miss Mather, I apologize for mispronouncing it to begin with, but Miss Mather, thank you so much. I mean, it's impressive. Really a big thank you from my part, because I mean, that's a huge endeavor that you're taking on. And I personally appreciate that. You know, so keeping our communities clean is a great thing. So thank you. I do have someone with their hand up, and Mr. Hoveder, is that correct? I hope I didn't mispronounce your name.
Mark.
Mark, Mr. Hoveder, you've got the floor.
Okay. Hi, you guys. I'm just here to support Jill's endeavors of VCC. I've been sending you videos of what she's been doing, and I think it's incredible what she's doing with the community and trying to keep this place clean. And I think she underbid her NPG a little bit. I think she should be going for more like $2,500, because I see what she does, and I see what she does in your community, both in North Granada and South Granada. And so those freeway on-ramps and off-ramps of Woodley, of Havenhurst and Balboa and Tampa are being cleaned by them monthly, or even more so. So, and I'm about ready to send you another video of what they did over at Sepulveda Basin, which was just incredible. It's a great piece of work to see them in the Haskell Creek cleaning up this mess. And so just my 2 cents, but you know, she's very valuable for our community, and we should dig a little deeper than that $1,500. Thank you.
Thank you, much appreciated.
Thank you, Mark. Well, you know, Granada Hills is a big community for me. We spend a lot of time in Granada Hills. We actually are doing, it's not in North, but it's South Granada Hills. We're doing a huge cleanup with Congressman Mike Garcia at the Chatsworth Charter School, high school, because that's a horrible, horrible area. So we're rallying all the students. He's coming out because it's his cleanup. We're co-oping with him. And the VCC has gotten a lot of, we're lucky. I mean, we're very fortunate that we've gotten a lot of notoriety, I guess, with public officials, Jesse Gabriel, Suzette Valadares, et cetera, that just want to work with us to, of course, it's always politically inclined, but they can help to drive my mission forward, which my mission is what my goal is, to get into the schools and work with the kids.
Ms. Mather, thank you. If I may, I have 2 other members with hands up, and I'm sure they want to ask some questions. So if I may,
sure.
Thank you so much. Let me give the floor to Sid. Sid, unmute yourself.
Thanks. I'll repeat myself. Thank you for your efforts. I really appreciate what you're doing. Just a couple questions. I'm just wondering about the safety aspects of being out there, that what sort of protection you have. It sounds like maybe a little hazardous. And the second question is that are other neighborhood councils contributing to your project?
Sid, as I said, I'm self-funded myself last year, so I really haven't pursued any money. I'm fortunate enough that, you know, in my retirement, that this was what I wanted to do, and I really didn't think about grants or anything like that, other than Home Depot has given me 2 different grants. Catherine Barger gave me grants, and so does Councilman Lee for my Environmental Awareness Day, which is one big, huge street fair about environment that we do. First annual was in November. We'll do it every year from now on in the Chatsworth train station. So I am going to go after some, because my goal is to get one in every community. And so, of course, that funding has to come from the community to support that. That's what we're doing, is supporting that community. I do have a couple of NPGs in right now with other communities that I'm very active in. Porter Ranch is one of that, very active, and Chatsworth. I'm on the board of Chatsworth Neighborhood Council. I've never asked them for money. It's time for asking them for money since I live in Chatsworth. So, you know, so I will be going after that, by the way. I do not have anyone right now. You're the first that I've spoken to. No. Because it's the beginning of the year. The second thing is safety. Absolutely. Number one, if you work on the freeway, there's a safety film that you have to see. I do have waivers that people have to sign before they go out. If they're on the freeway, you have to wear a helmet, etc. We have safety vests. They say VCC on the back for my publicity, obviously. But everybody wears a safety vest, which is so people can see them as they're going along. And anybody we only talk to people, and they only do streets or wherever where they feel comfortable doing it. So we offer a lot of different options when we're doing cleanup. When you're doing 5 to 6 cleanups a week, we do parks on Monday, we do train stations, we do train tracks, we do the basin, we do the LA River, we do, you know, so many different things, the freeway. So certain people come for certain events because they're more comfortable. If we're doing the freeway, for instance, I go down on the freeway bottom because I think it's fun. And so do most of my my volunteers, but other ones don't feel as safe. So they stay up on the top island part on the streets. And so we can still get a lot of volunteers to be able to participate and get a lot done, and still they become comfortable where they're at. Hopefully that answered your question, Sid. You're on mute.
Thank you. I'm going to move to the next person. Thank you. Alfredo, you have the floor. Unmute yourself, please. And then Karen, I'll come to you.
Yes, I do notice that you haven't asked any other NCs for funding, and I was going to suggest that you ask other NCs for funding.
That's not true, though. Granada South didn't follow through.
That was last year. I did ask Granada South and they approved it, and I've never seen funds.
Well, this says, have you applied for it? Question number 7, it says, no, you haven't. So I'm just going by that. My suggestion is that you should. But again, I like what you're doing, and obviously I'm happy to get that information from you, because I think we all should volunteer for that, especially for like near the wash in our neighborhood, and Rinaldi and Havenhurst and all that area. So get lots of it, and also Woodley. I thank you very much for what you're doing, and keep going. But do ask other councils. Just because they don't follow through doesn't mean that they can't try again. So I would say ask anybody in the area if your appetite for that is so good that you want to go all the way to Ventura Boulevard. Well, there's quite a few neighborhood councils between here and there.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Alfredo.
Thank you, Alfredo. Let's move on to Karen. You've got the floor.
Thank you. Jill, thank you very much. It's nice to see our stakeholders have spoken very highly of you for months, and Mark as well. So thank you very much. And we thank you for transforming our community. We all know that the Department of Sanitation and the city and the county have issues right now. So you and your team are helping keep our community clean. And so thank you very much for it. I encourage my fellow board members for us to approve this NPG, because without Ms. Jill's organization, we would have a considerable amount of trash. And the Devonshire Balboa, even though we are in North, we all shop and patronize the businesses in the South as well. So we should all be mindful of that. And thank you for what you do for us, and appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Karen. Raheem, unmute yourself, please.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, question to Jill. Sorry, but I forgot the name of the organization which Wade Hunter used to chair. Have you reached out to them? They do a lot of community grants and help out the good projects.
What is the organization? I'm sorry.
I don't recall the name, but our fellow ex-board member, Wade Hunter, used to chair that organization. I don't.
I believe you're speaking of Patriot Oil Amenities.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Wade has his hand up since Wade. I'm going to let Wade. Wade, did you want to?
I put my hand up, but Ralph actually answered the question. Okay. Since Raheem couldn't remember, it was the Patriot Oil Community Benefit Trust Fund.
I actually have not heard of that. And if you suggest, I'll certainly look into that. And again, as I said, I'm not a beggar of money, if you know what I mean. And I don't mean that I'm begging for money. I'm not used to, I've been in business before this. I was in business, and now I'm a nonprofit, and now, it's a whole situation. So this is the first for me. And I'm on an NC, so I understand how NPGs work, and I appreciate that. And certainly going to Councilman Lee, who supports me completely, and the supervisor Barger, who is no longer our supervisor, but to go and have them be able to pay for the majority of my environmental day was awesome. So.
Okay, I'm going to move on to the last two so that we can move on and take a vote on this. I have Brian Allen.
Yes, thank you. The first question, I only have a couple of questions, I think. The NPG, I don't see the signatures at the bottom, but I haven't had the opportunity to review this NPG. I also assume, okay, thank you for going on down. There's the IRS. I was going to ask if we have the IRS determination letter. The only thing other I would say is if we're going to, if we do vote to approve this, I would hope that we would make sure that some of the work for this money is done within Granada Hills North, and one area that definitely could use work is the Balboa corridor going up towards the 405. I mean, towards the 5. But, and I think everybody knows I'm not one who sits back and says, well, we spend all the money in our community only. I'm not trying to do that, but I do want to make sure that some of the work that is done for the money that we give them is done within the boundaries of Granada Hills North.
Absolutely, Brian. That would be the intention, that the person that I would be finding in order to be the leader in this community, that would be the areas that we mainly work on. And we're always looking for new areas because, as you said, it's volunteer and cleaning community. So if there's a specific area that we need to attack, we just need to know what that is. And that's why I found out about the Rinaldi area. We found that because that's my freeway area, but it's on the Rinaldi street, and it was scary.
As a technical question, obviously all the NCs, none of the NCs may pay for any cleanup of any private property. That doesn't matter whether it's business or personal, private residence. So all the cleanup that we would be paying for would have to be on public property.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay, thank you, Brian. And lastly, I'm going to say Mark, and then we are going to move on.
I think I just raised my hand for a question. I'm good.
Okay.
So let's vote.
Great. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Okay. On this motion to provide $1,500 to VCC, Volunteers Cleaning Communities. First one is me. I'll say yes. Karen?
Yes.
Sid?
Yes.
Oscar?
Yes, that would be yes for me.
Raheem?
Unmute, Raheem.
Raheem, did you respond?
He's unmuting.
Go to the next one, Brian.
I can come back to him. Alfredo?
Yes.
Ralph?
Yes.
Denitza?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
Thomas?
Yes.
Chris?
Abstain.
Alvin?
Yes.
Nathan?
Yes.
And Robert?
Yes.
And Raheem?
Raheem, if you're a yes, put your thumbs up. If you're a no, put your thumb down. If you abstain, put it in the middle. Let's do that. Yes, abstain, and no.
Raheem, we can see you, but we don't, you're muted.
Is that a yes? Can you wave? Yes, thumbs up.
Can you unmute him, Oscar?
Okay.
No, I can't.
Thumbs up.
Yes, okay, there you go.
All right, 13.
Okay, thumbs up.
13
Okay,
yes,
we all,
14
we all saw the
passes.
thumbs up. Excellent. All right.
How many yeses, how many no's, sir?
13 yes, 1 abstain.
Thank you.
All right. Wow.
Thank you very much.
Thank
to
you, Ms.
all of
Mather, and we appreciate all your
Thank
work
you,
and
Jill.
efforts. Thank you so much. Our
Thank
community
you.
is better because of you.
I appreciate you letting me talk to you, and thank you so much. Talk to you soon.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Okay, next item is D5. Motion to appoint financial officer. So with Michael leaving the board, so we have that position vacant. Is there anyone who would be interested in taking on the role of the financial officer? This person would work in conjunction with the treasurer. One of the requirements is to present status financials on a quarterly basis or thereabouts. And this position is part of the executive committee. So which means it will be a monthly meeting with the executive committee as we meet to set the agenda for the board meeting. Mr. Alfredo, yes, sir.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what we were supposed to report? Because I don't remember in the past 2 years if we had any kind of reports made by Mr. Greenwald or anything.
No.
Brian's been handling
Actually,
everything.
we have a monthly MER, and that's the only financial report we have.
Okay.
But what's also helpful is when Brian has to recuse, it's helpful to have the financial officer back up when Brian has to recuse.
Good question, Alfredo, and thank you, Karen.
So everybody's got their hand in, is that it?
Everybody wants it.
No, I actually would like to nominate, Alfredo since he did it before. He was the financial officer when I came on the board.
That is correct.
Were you Alfredo?
I heard that. I get to work with Brian? All right.
Yeah.
Just like before, Alfredo.
Just like before. Okay. All right.
So is that a yes?
Anybody else? Well, I don't know. Anybody else? It looks like everyone's jumping up and down.
Yeah, I can see that. And then should you decide to take on that role, then we would need a secretary.
That's true, huh?
Yes, sir.
Maybe. Well,
Can't he do both?
What about Danita? She was my backup for secretary. I mean, I could secretary. It's not that big of a deal, honestly. But you know,
can both be done? I don't know if the bylaws require those to be separate individuals.
It doesn't say they are.
I'd have to review it, but I don't think so.
No.
And in case there's times where I can't do it, I can always ask Danita to kind of help out.
Okay, so
unless Danita wants to take on, Danita.
Honestly, right now I can't because I'm like just with work in general and all the other, you know, I'm on a nonprofit board, I'm on a state board, so but I don't mind helping you, Alfredo, like with at all.
I appreciate it, Danita. Okay, well that's it. There you go.
Okay, so Alfredo is our new financial officer. Thank you, Alfredo. It's much appreciated.
Thank you for volunteering.
Are we voting on that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's see. So, well, technically, because it's a vacant position and the term isn't done, it could just be an appointment by the president. But we will go through the motion, and I'm fine with that. So let's go through and approve it, or take a vote. So let's start with Karen.
Yes.
Okay. Brian.
Yes.
Chris.
Yes.
Graham is still out. Sid.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Hartfield, Thomas.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Raheem.
Yes. And sorry about that. Last time I couldn't see my mouse on the screen. Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries.
So it's the word is yes. Yeah.
The thumbs up works.
Okay.
Ralph.
Yes.
Nathan.
Yes.
Robert.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Denisa Pantoja.
Yes.
And Mr. Elvin Waters.
Yes.
Okay, and myself, that would be a yes. All right, well, Alfredo, welcome to the financial
Welcome back.
officer. Yes, sir.
Happy to be here.
All right. Okay, moving on now to item 6, D6, discussion motion to request a done block chain and spam emails. Karen, give us a little background on this, and then I have some clarification that did come to me from Aaron earlier today regarding this item. But if you want to explain to us what's driving it.
The very short explanation, because I believe everyone on the board has received the, there are individuals who try to forward their causes, and they have, from the mayor to all of the neighborhood council board members, email addresses, and they decide to email everyone. So taking this action or some sort of action to, when we see that this is definitely a rogue situation, because we all definitely get enough emails, I'm sure no one will dispute that. And this would just help to eliminate that headache.
Okay. Brian, I see your hand up before I give you the floor.
Yeah, unfortunately, as much as I agree with what Karen is saying in principle of the abuse that people get from getting emails that they shouldn't get, the fact is these emails are public knowledge, and that's the reason they were able to get them. If they weren't public knowledge, we could absolutely block them and require it. But in this situation, it has happened so infrequently from the listings that they have, that this one person who did this, I'm sure he found that it wasn't very successful. He got a lot of pushback on it. I would suggest that we watch this and see if it happens again, and then try to work with Raquel in trying to figure out how that can be controlled a little better. But I think we're biting off more than we can chew by asking her to restrict all of those public emails, because if you do it for one, you have to do it for everyone.
That's a very good point. Wade, I'll come back to you in just a moment. But what I wanted to follow up with is, according to Aaron Devandry, our web master, Dunn is not responsible for that, and Dunn would not be able to do something to that degree. But there could be other avenues. Wade, you have your hand up, sir?
Yes, only just to comment that I think it would, you're now depending upon some other entity to look at your emails and decide whether or not they're spam. And it may turn out it might not be spam, so you might not be getting something you should be getting. And the other way would be, supposing you now have a sort of a governmental oversight of your incoming email, which leaves you again open to some kind of abuse. So I you know, again, as annoying as getting spam emails and things like that are, I don't think it's wise to have somebody doing that for you. Anyway, that was just my comment. Thank you.
Very good comment. Thank you. Thank you, Wade. Thank you.
Well, I think Brian's point is good. I think if we should see a frequency, then we could address it then. But just will be.
Yeah, as annoying as they are, but yeah,
right.
Very good point.
Okay.
Are we suggesting we should table this?
Well, there's nothing really then to take action on them at this point.
No motion was made.
Right.
No. All right. So then let's move on. Thank you, everyone, to Executive Committee. There was no meeting. Treasurer report, Mr. Brian.
Okay, I'll try to make it short because nobody wants to go through all this. The CAG has, as I've said before, has basically been non-existent. We did get final notice after the fact, should have been before the fact, after the fact, that the RFP for their proposed health study has been released. I have it. It's 292 pages. It does not do what we asked. We, the CAG, are preparing a media release to address the issues that have time and time again been ignored by DPH, because we feel that anyone who is going to propose that they would like to take on this task of managing the health study, they should know. They should know what the community wants, and they're not hearing that from DPH. The most important things are that DPH isn't even requiring a health study that is patient-centric. So that doesn't mean that it can't be. I have to be honest. If the proposal is made and the individuals who get awarded it decide that they want to do a patient-centric longitudinal study, then they may, I believe, I hope, because it's not been precluded, but it is not being required by DPH along with some other things. So we're still fighting the battles, the same battles that we fought before. So that's it for the CAG. But along with the CAG, I will say that EHR is in the midst right now of trying to establish a decision or make a decision as to establishing a CAG of their own. Whether it will be a CAG that includes members that are still in the CAG, or whether it is an entirely different CAG, we would be, if we go through with this, and I believe we will, personally, we would be asking for representation from the same NCs and other community leaders in order to advise on the study that we're intending to do. So I just want to throw that out so that everybody's aware that this is not a done deal. It's not, the CAG is not going away totally. I believe the CAG is going to fight like hell to make sure every step of the way that something good comes out of the money that has been awarded. As far as the budget advocates go, I think, Karen, were you on the town hall? I saw Karen in the town hall. I didn't know if it was you, but
I intended to make it, and by the time I realized it was time, it was already over.
That's okay.
Sorry.
There were a total of 92 people on the town hall. 8 of those were panelists. 3 of those were budget advocates. The rest were from Dunn. I believe the rest were from Dunn. And I think it was a pretty good town hall. It was about Dunn's budget. It was maintained with decorum. It was not a live question and answer. It was a requested questions plus questions that were added during the presentation that Raquel gave. And Raquel made a pretty strong, pretty honest, and pretty fair argument for what she's looking for to increase her budget by 63%. And it's a huge increase. I can tell you that from my perspective, I'm in the process of writing up the budget advocate review on that, and I'm going to probably surprise her in that while I agree with the fact that she needs more money to do the job right, and most of the money that she's asking for that's excessive is for election outreach. However, my position, that the committee's position on that currently is that we're not sure that all that money should be provided immediately, that there should be some sense of success shown before all that money is released. It doesn't mean that I don't trust her with it as a person. I don't think the committee is saying that either. It's just that they have a bunch of new NEAs. They have, as Gibson told us earlier, they've hired up, and they have more staff to work with, and that should be very positive for Dunn, and it should be very positive for the NC system. However, there are so many new things, so many new directions, and so many new people that and I'm speaking for myself here, I think they need to have some successes under their belt before we just throw $1 million at them and say, go ahead and spend it. And so that is where I'm at. I think for the most part, that town hall was saying somewhat of the same thing. They were asking questions with regards to how are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? And while she has very, very good responses to these things, and while I believe that she knows very well what she's doing, and I think she has all the good intentions, I think there is still room for improvement before we throw more money at it. So that's where that town hall ended for me, and that's pretty much what happened with the town hall. It was a lot of questions, and everyone's taking a look at what she was saying and trying to digest it, but it's 160 pages of information. It's really hard to digest. So if you have any questions on that, I'll be happy to try to answer them, but that's where we are. And Gibson, if you have any comments on that, please weigh in. I don't see anybody raising any hands.
All right.
Back to you.
Thank you, Brian. Okay, then let's move on to item G, Plum Committee Report. Unmute yourself, Thomas. There you go.
Thank you. All right. Thank you so much. For the Planning and Land Use Plum Committee report, there is not a report to present because there was not a meeting last month. However, it was postponed till this month, so it will be Thursday, February 17th, Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right. Emergency Preparedness Committee report. Robert, did you have anything for us there?
No, there's nothing to report at this time.
Okay, thank you, sir. Citywide Issues Committee report, Mr. Sid. Unmute yourself. There you go.
I was under the weather and couldn't form a meeting. There'll be a meeting this month.
Okay, thank you. Outreach and Publicity Committee report, Ms. Waters.
Thank you. We Outreach and Publicity Committee met, and we have confirmed both the site and the shred event company for Saturday, April 23rd. It coincides with Earth Day is April 22nd. So we were creative and chose, we are calling it Earth Day Weekend Shred Event. And so that will be from 9 a.m. until 11:30 a.m. There is a wedding that day, but they did accommodate us for the morning. So we were thankful for that. And next item is motion to approve up to $3,000 for new banners, which I'll have Brian explain that a little bit more, and shred event pole banners and advertising, and also some N95 masks, which we did give out the remainder of our N95 masks to LAPD and the fire department. And GHNNC masks, wrist wallets, hand sanitizers, and anything else the board would like to see as a part of our giveaways that we will have for that event. And so are there any questions? Well, Brian, I want to ask Brian to explain why we need new banners due to the location.
Excuse me, I have the hiccups. She's absolutely right. The banners have to be replaced because we are no longer doing the event at Knollwood. And I don't think we're in a position to ask if we can post our banner at the corner of Rinaldi and Balboa. However, we will have to find some place to post that banner. We can post it anywhere we want as long as we direct it to the right place, direct people to the right place. And the banners themselves do have to be changed in order to identify where the location is going to be. Other than that, I really wasn't involved in this with you, Karen, so I don't know if there was anything else that you were considering. But the one thing that I believe we have to make sure of is that we find out the best place to buy these, which means that somebody's going to have to contact Michael, and I certainly can do that. But these things that, if we have to buy wrist wallets, for instance, I think we have to get the information as to who he worked with in order to
correct.
do that.
Yes,
Wouldn't some of that wouldn't some of that information be on? Oh, I'm sorry, Karen, on like the receipts, the invoices?
Yes, we have some
Possibly the information is there, but I don't know who he talked to.
Okay.
You know, we just get an invoice, and we can start from scratch if we want, talking to the companies. But it would be much better if I just place a phone call to Michael and find out.
Yeah,
absolutely, sure, of course. And so yeah, so if there's anything else the board would like to see, you know, but this is this should cover all of it. We did put up to. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Go ahead,
yes, Ralph.
Have we asked the owner of that corner lot? Because I normally converse with him, and I haven't heard any response or any question about putting signs up there. He's normally been very agreeable.
Which lot are we speaking of?
I'm going to take the position that because we did not support him, he may not be so agreeable.
Correct.
So I wouldn't want to I wouldn't want to go asking for something after we denied him.
No, that's a good
Tell you what, let me ask him.
My suggestion,
I would prefer not.
Yeah, I'm preferring that we do not contact him because it's going to send the wrong signal.
Okay. Yes. But thank you for the suggestion. So
I'm the one that has been taking out all the signs off the fences, etc. And that's a job that I have to do this weekend.
Right.
Because we've got all sorts of people putting signs up on the fences, and they don't belong there.
Okay. All right. And so I think if there aren't any,
I do have some questions. Quick questions. 3,000 is what you're asking for, Brian. First, how many banners are we talking about? And then two, do you have an idea based on experience how much each banner would cost?
Well, the banners that we've been using were done before my time, so I can't really tell you how much they are. But I believe that the 3,000 we're talking about more than covers the banners and the purchases of anything that we might have to buy as far as giveaways. Okay. But before we even go down that road, I think we need to take an inventory of some of the items here and just see what we do have in order to perform this. But but I think the 3,000 is enough. But it does have to be looked into.
Thank you. And if I may defer to Jason Lester, was even though we have to get to that following item, Jason, do you have a pricing estimation for us on the banners?
I can check and see if I can find it. Give me 1 second.
Thank you.
While you're doing that, Jason, Wade, you had your hand up, and then Sid, I will come to you.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Karen, I just want to ask, does somewhere in that money include an arrow? You know, every time that if I volunteer, I get out there. Usually what happens, people can't see. You need that,
thank you,
guy
Wade.
standing with a damned arrow pointing to get them in.
You want to do the progressive thing.
Yes, Wade, absolutely.
And you can just put, a shred event on it. You don't have to say where it's at. There's nothing with that arrow sign, but it really has been helpful no matter where you hold it to have somebody out there doing the motion.
So are you going to volunteer for that part of it,
Wade?
That's
a great idea.
Yeah, if that floats your boat, I'd do that for you.
And for the board members who do not understand what we're speaking of, at our previous shred events, Wade always wanted to have a sign. So I actually made one at home once, and he absolutely loved it. But what he's referring to is an arrow that he can hold to direct traffic to the parking lot.
I think that's a great idea.
Thank you for that great suggestion.
Excellent. Yeah.
I think I'm going to
big arrow.
I'm going to contact Progressive and see if we can get one of those sign turners for him.
Donate it.
And Sid, you had a question? Oh, Jason, I'm sorry, Sid. Jason?
Sid, yeah. Let's Sid ask his question, and then we'll come back to Jason. Jason,
I'm supportive of what you're doing, but in the future, I'd like a little more detailed how the money is going to be spent. So that.
Well, absolutely. Well, we're the banners, and Jason's probably going to clarify some.
Jason,
of that for
go
us.
for it.
Yeah,
2x6 banners, 15-ounce vinyl with reinforced edge and grommets and everything was coming to $47 each.
Oh my! Oh,
I have to check if there's been any increase in the price. That was from May of last year, but I mean, what could it have gone up to from $47?
Okay, okay.
Oh,
and what about
yeah,
the pole banners?
That's a wood.
May I add that the 2x6 would be about half the size, so it could be as much as $90 because we'd want a 4x6.
4x6. I'll check into that.
That's still not bad. I was for some reason thinking it was going to be more than that, like in the $100.
I did as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
and then the pole banners as well. What do you estimate on those?
We've never had any pole banners.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, maybe.
It can't hurt to look into it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the ad in the Granada Hills monthly is the last I checked it was $250 for the page, for a page ad there. And so running that for a couple of months. And then the masks and the wallets and the hand sanitizer. So we could probably come in under that amount, but just to not have to go back, as we have seen sometimes if we don't have enough, and Brian has to include the shipping in those costs. And we do have shipping increase because of all the issues we know as of late. So better to be ahead, and if we don't use it all, then we don't.
I would say that branded N95 masks would be a good item, and the wallets I know we're low on, and but the hand sanitizer I think we still have, but I'd have to check.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay.
Right.
Are there any more questions, or shall we take a vote?
I think we should move forward and take a vote.
Okay. Brian, take it away.
Got it. So on this $3,000, I'm a yes. Karen?
Yes.
Sid?
Yes.
Oscar?
Yes.
Raheem?
Unmute yourself. Sorry,
Raheem, unmute.
Raheem.
Oh no. He did a thumbs up.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, got it. Alfredo.
Yes.
Ralph.
Yes.
Danitza.
Yes.
Jason.
Yes.
Thomas.
Yes.
Chris.
Yes.
Alvin.
Yes.
Nathan.
Yes.
Robert.
Yes.
Unanimous. 14. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. And thank you, everyone. And then number 3, as we started to discuss, Jason has the connection for the banners. So I motion to approve Jason to oversee the design and order of the Shred event banners. And we'll collaborate with Brian.
I second it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Right. Thank you. And that came from committee.
But it's a motion to approve as we have to vote on it?
Yeah, still have to vote on it, but
yes.
You don't need a second, but you don't need a second. Yeah.
No, we don't need a second. Just are there any objections? Okay, then.
Oh, Jason.
Mr. President.
Thank you.
Okay, so that passes then. No objections?
Nope.
And no abstentions. Fabulous.
Thank you. And
okay.
Number 4, I was contacted by one of the mayoral candidates. And so rather than to make any commitment one way or another, we outreach committee decided to present this motion to allow any mayoral candidate that may approach us, whether they contact Oscar or one of us, and we request of this 10-minute slot per candidate with questions and answers from the board and stakeholders. But this is really on an as-needed basis. There's no real commitment one way or another, but just trying to set some sort of order for if they should want to come to our neighborhood council meeting. So any thoughts, questions on that?
So the one thing for me, for clarification, Karen, on this,
yes,
is making sure that it's clear that if they approach us, right? No,
Correct.
it's
Yes,
not about
absolutely.
anybody on this board or committee
Right.
going to a candidate and saying,
No.
hey, it's all about them
Right.
approaching us. Okay, I just want to make sure
Right.
that
No,
that's
absolutely.
clear. Okay.
Right. And that was part of it because the person did approach us, and I made it clear that it's open to all candidates who wish to address the board and stakeholders, and we would discuss it as a board and let them know. So
Okay.
That's where we are.
Raheem, you had your hand up first. You have the floor.
Yes, Raheem.
Oh, I'm sorry, Karen.
Oh, what? Yeah, Oscar, just take a break. Oh, yes, Raheem.
Okay, so the question is, will that be the 10 minutes will be given to the prospective candidates on one given meeting, or they can come and choose any monthly meeting?
No, just one meeting, like if, I don't remember how many people there are exactly, but if once they join us and we post that on the agenda for the stakeholders to join, and that's it. There's not a repeat performance or repeat visits.
Okay.
Well, if we do it that way,
Uh-huh.
I'm not suggesting anything different, but if we do it that way and all the candidates decide to show up, we will be here till midnight.
Point of order.
May I make a comment?
Well, one second, Ralph. So what I would agendize that individual for that day was what I was trying to say, so that we could have two, but no more than that at a time. We don't have to spell it out, but if we have two at 10 minutes, that will give us 20 minutes, and that's adequate plus questioning so that we manage our time.
I think that we would have to, in order to be fair and impartial and perceive such, we'd have to offer this opportunity to all mayoral candidates, and provide them an understanding of how it would work.
Yeah,
and we would have to allow each and every one that wants to be here to attend at some point before the elections. I think it's a lot to chew at the moment.
Right. No, I agree. But when they approached, I said, well, we want to make sure we're fair to all the mayoral candidates and to the stakeholders and to the board. So this was just, we discussed this as a committee, and we're definitely open for whatever the board wants to do. I just wanted to put it out there we're kind of early in this yet, but, just think about it. We don't have to do anything tonight. And Sid, you had a question?
I had a question.
I had my hand up. Ralph, you didn't have your hand up.
I don't have a hand up here on my computer.
I'll get one.
I can put my hand up like this.
Ralph has had a problem with that.
Okay, quickly, Ralph. Yes, please.
I think 10 minutes.
I don't know about quickly, but the others had a long time to talk here. In yesteryear, we had
Okay, wait. Okay, let's start over. I'm begging pardon.
Order.
Let's have a little order here. Okay, Sid, please proceed, and then Ralph will come back to you.
Thank you.
The hell.
Thank you. I speak against the concept. I think 10 minutes is too much. It gets too complicated. We've hosted forums in the past. I think that's something we should look into. If a mayor or a candidate wants to come to a meeting, he should be like anyone else, get 2 minutes, make a presentation, and say hello and goodbye. But I think if we want to have all the candidates, we should have a forum of some sort. That's my belief. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sid. Ralph?
Yes, in yesteryear, the precursor to the Grand Hills North Neighborhood Council had a mayoral candidate program at the Norwood Country Club, and they did it for naught, no charge. And we had a full house there. We had a program. I think Wade Hunter had a lot of information on that too, because that was done by the, what was it? North Valley Coalition, I guess. And we did have many speakers, and we did have a control on it. We had lights on it for so many to speak, so much to speak, etc. In fact, I still have that series of lights that we had for that program. I think we should review it, because I think that it is a good way of doing outreach.
Well, thank you, Ralph. We are still under the orders, the COVID orders. So we have to do whatever we would do would have to be a virtual until until we are otherwise advised otherwise by the city. So for now, I do I actually. So with that, we can actually just table this matter for now. I actually agree with Sid. I don't know how the rest of the board feels, but you know, the 3 minutes, like all other elected officials, is actually a fair way to go. So
you said 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Well, it's actually is it 2 minutes or 3 minutes for the elected officials? It's 3, right?
It's 3.
Okay, yeah, so 3 minutes. So that will be it. So thank you. Excellent discussion. And last announcement, we had Holocaust Remembrance Day, which is very globally significant. So we had that yesterday on Monday. And then we have the Lunar New Year, Chinese New Year, the Year of the Tiger this month. And it is Black History Month. And as if you probably didn't already know, the Super Bowl is going to be on Sunday, February 13th with our Los Angeles Rams against the Cincinnati Bengals. So that is it for the report, and have a great, thank you for your support of the.
And if you have $6,100, you might be able to go get a seat.
Yeah. Well, it's now our same season seats are starting at $7,000.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyway, needless to say,
I get to see it a lot closer at home.
That's
great parking, front row seats. It's you know, home is good. So you know, they priced out all the season ticket holders. Can you imagine how we feel? When we purchased those tickets, they told us, oh, well, we'll have first opportunity to buy the tickets. Well, the first opportunity to buy the tickets was $5,800 a seat. And now, you know, it's going up literally by the moment. And last I checked, it was over 7,000. So.
My digital antenna gets me the games. So
yeah,
I get channel 2, 4, and 11. So I'm good.
multiple screens at home. Hey, why not?
Right,
yeah.
Exactly. Right, exactly. Yep. Yes. So, but anyway, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Karen. All right, let's move on then to Public Safety Committee report. Nathan, do you have anything for us, sir?
Yes. So hello, everyone. Good evening. We did hold our public safety meeting last month, and we had a good turnout, and we had a lot of good discussion. We had a couple items that we discussed that are still in committee right now, and some drafts are being talked about in committee currently. We have our next meeting tomorrow night for public safety at 6 p.m. We did invite one of the concerned stakeholders, Kelsey Hawthorne, to attend the meeting, and she agreed to attend it. That's to discuss the Rinaldi issue regarding parking of longer vehicles, including RVs, by possibly homeless people on Rinaldi. So that's one of the issues that will be discussed and was put on the agenda for tomorrow night. I invite everybody that's willing and able to join us tomorrow night at tomorrow night's Public Safety Committee meeting.
So Nathan, just to give you a little information with that item that you were talking about, the parking on Rinaldi, this board did last year have a motion on the docket, and that was to put signage on Rinaldi from Sepulveda all the way to Balboa for no parking of those big vehicles. And the city's been holding back, and I guess this is because of Councilman Bonin, I believe is my understanding. But this board did take action, did take a vote, and we did approve for those signs to be put up. But unfortunately, right now they are being held up by the city, is my understanding. So just to kind of give you something, you know, so that you can share that with the constituent.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Oscar. I appreciate that. And I think Karen Waters did share something similar to that effect with us. So thank you both for that information. That helps with informing concerned stakeholders. So thank you.
Can I ask one question, Nathan? I think the lady, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the lady you're talking about who was complaining about RVs on Rinaldi. She was talking about at Zelza, and those RVs are not in our boundaries. Those are in Porter Ranch's boundaries.
Yeah, I think she made a comment about Rinaldi, but let me take a look. I have her email here.
Okay.
She said past the intersection of Rinaldi and Zelza, past it.
And
but
those,
I don't. Yeah.
Those particular RVs are past Zelza, going west.
Okay.
They are not in our boundaries.
All right.
Our boundaries are Aliso,
Porter
right?
Ranch?
Which is just west, just a little bit west of Zelda.
Oh, our boundary comes down Zelza.
Zelza to.
So the map is wrong on the website. We need to, but anyway, okay, thanks.
But I look, I could be wrong. We'd have to readdress that. Look at the map specifically. But I was under the impression it came down Zelza.
Right, and for those who don't know, Councilmember Bonin did announce he is not running for re-election.
Correct.
So hopefully.
That's probably a blessing. Anyway, Wade, you had your hand up, sir?
Second. Yes, I did. I'm sorry. The boundary, although if you look at the picture that the city has, it looks like it comes down Zelza, but in actual fact, it comes down Aliso Canyon Creek. We divided up Aliso Canyon. Half on the east side is ours. The other half of Aliso Canyon is in Porter Ranch. So, and we fought over that so that we had some control over Aliso Canyon. So our boundary goes right down the middle of the creek.
Oh, okay. No,
okay,
thank you,
thanks.
Wade. No, thank you for the
Thank you,
clarification. Much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Nathan, thank you for the report. And
thank you.
Tomorrow, by the way, I will
can't
probably, for your meeting, since I have to get that started for you, I'll coordinate with you because I'm going to try and get it a little earlier because I will be at work and I have a function that starts at 6. So maybe you and I can coordinate to get it started earlier.
Sure. I can do that. Thanks, Oscar.
Perfect. Thank you, Nathan.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
I can always do it for you, Oscar. Just let me know.
Okay. No, if you can, then that'd be great because
Sure.
Then I won't be rushing at work because I'm going to be at the office pretty much
No
all
problem.
day.
I'll call you, Nathan.
Thank you,
All right.
Karen. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. West Valley Neighborhood Alliance. He's here. All business report. Mr. Allen.
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay. Faith-based representative report. Mr.
Yes, I have one. There was a volcanic eruption in Tonga, and there was a great amount of destruction. I had suggested that Granite Hills North help us, and Karen Walters suggested I contact Council District Office on that, and we have been doing that, and we haven't gotten a response yet. Our church is a large Tongan group, and we are renting a container for collecting food, clothing, and whatever we can send to them and getting money. So we're working on that because it is a support program.
So is this something, so it's in our district? Ralph,
oh, yes.
Can
we, North every town.
So could it, so can
I, the church, what I'm speaking of.
Okay, so do you have, can the church maybe put a flyer together of the items that they need? And perhaps this is something that we could put on our website.
We're discussing that even with CD12, and we'll get some information back to you.
Okay.
Very good. What I discussed with Hannah Lee at Councilmember Lee's office is they will be working with the church, whether that's you, Ralph, or someone, another contact. It's
our minister and myself.
Okay, so it's under consideration for Councilman Lee to put a motion together to take forward to City Council for more funds. So that's the goal, is to see what amount of funds can be secured for the people of Tonga.
Well, it's also a voluntary thing. Now, I don't believe we're asking for a motion from the city, but we're looking for volunteers as support.
Well, right, because it's, even though we support them, the location is outside of our district. So that's why we have to try to, like to Oscar's point, something on the website would be helpful. And where, or if funds are more appropriate, whichever one, you know, we're happy to support.
I disagree.
Individually, not as a council.
Our church is within the district.
It's within the district, but I think what Karen is, correct me, I mean, Karen, if I'm wrong,
Yes.
but is that the funds are going to be used outside of the district.
Right.
And so that's where the city probably needs to get some approval, or he needs to get some clarification or approval from the council to be able to use some of those funds as such.
Right.
Well,
Is it?
We are
Yes, that's
doing
right.
it. We are already doing it, and we are expanding it if we can, and that's what we're going to do.
No, okay, well, great. Thank you, Ralph. Thank you for the update, and it's great to see that this is, you know, that you guys are doing this, and if there's anything we can do, like Karen says, on an individual personal basis, I'm more than happy to also, you know, help out with that. So, okay, thank you, sir. Okay, let's see. Sitlali's not here for student representative report. So with that, I'm going to move on to board member announcements, and these are just announcements. So I will start with Mr. Allen.
The only announcement I have is I have 2 new puppies. Thank you very much. That's it. Thank you.
Must be hush puppies.
Okay, Alfredo.
Nothing to report, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, Chris.
Same here, nothing to report.
Thank you, sir. Sid.
Nothing to report.
Thank you. Thomas. Mr. Hartfield. Okay, let's move on to Raheem.
Yes, thank you. And the go Bengals, go Cincinnati Bengals. Sorry, folks.
Okay, mute. Where's that mute button? Gosh darn it.
The reason is I have been AFC fan since the days of Tom Brady at New England. That's the reason.
Hey, you got your reasons, Raheem, so go Bengals. I hear you. Okay. Ralph.
Yes, I have a comment. I guess I have to do something different because my computer doesn't have a constant hand button thing push, so I can wave, etc. So what do I do? Interrupt people like everybody else?
Well, you know what you've done is in the past is raise your hand, right? And so I'm trying to acknowledge that as well. So if you want to keep,
I do this, and it doesn't always work.
Just do that, and then Karen and I will make sure we will pay attention to make sure that if we see your hand, that we acknowledge it. Okay.
Yes.
So all right.
Okay.
Sorry about that, Ralph. Thank you. And Karen, get a hold of your committee.
What I've got
comes around to your turn.
Get a hold of to do what?
Just say get a hold of your time. Get a hold of your
go.
You. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, all right. Ralph, thank you. Let's see, Nathan.
Just want to say great meeting, everybody. Happy Lunar New Year to everyone, and have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You too. Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you, Nathan.
Let's see, Robert.
Not much, just in my regular role with Department of Health Services, I've been overseeing for the last 2 years a lot of the community test sites. And they are talking about putting a community test site up in Granada Hills. However, most of the drive-through areas that we can put it in do not exist in Granada Hills because it's primarily residential. So, but if anybody has any ideas where we could put a site that's, because I'm struggling on this, about 300 test appointments a day, up to 7 days a week, please feel free to reach out and let me know. And it has nothing to do with this board, but I'd appreciate the help because I'm struggling on this one.
So would a site maybe up by Knollwood Golf Course, isn't that owned by the county? So wouldn't that maybe be easy to coordinate that effort?
Yes.
Only place.
Because it would be the only place, but that parking lot is being used currently. And so it would have to be a space that we could literally take over.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And with the, honestly, folks, with the demand is rolling off the table right now. It's just dropping the demand for testing. This surge is, I won't say it's behind us, but it's on that direction. And so the demand is going down on all the established sites. So I really don't know how much this is going to, how this is going to materialize at this point at any rate. So,
Robert, there's a section of Knollwood Country Club parking lot that is to the south end towards on the Balboa, close to Balboa on the south end. There's a site where the cops, sheriffs usually go in there and sit. But there is a space right there that could be used for that purpose, and it wouldn't really interfere with the parking lot.
I'll have to go and survey that tomorrow while I'm on duty. So thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Robert. Danitza?
No comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Alvin?
Only comment is go Rams.
All righty. And Karen?
Thank you for a great reading, and go Rams.
All right. Raheem, you're getting like outweighed here.
So I'm already 2-1.
I just hope that win or lose, the Rams fans behave themselves.
Good point. Thank you.
Well, the Rams fans probably
not going to happen.
I mean, they're not Raiders fans. Let's give it to that. But I have folks on duty, and I myself be on duty that night, so I just keep it quiet.
There's always going to be a few in every bunch, unfortunately.
Amen to that.
Yeah. So, and for me, nothing other than thank you again, everyone, for your time. I know this, takes a bit of our time, but without a team like us, our community, of course, would not be what it is today. It's a great community. So again, thank you each for all your investment in our community. So again, thank you. Good evening, and we'll see you with the next meeting. All right.
Sure.
So with this, we adjourn.
Good night, everybody.
Karen, can you stay on for
Oscar?
What's that?
What'd you say?
Alfredo?
What's that?
One more thing.
Brian?
One more thing before we go.
Brian?
I'd like Karen to stay on. Karen and Oscar to stay on for a second.
Oh, sure. Okay.
What's that, Alfredo?
Okay. I need to talk to Karen and Oscar too, so I'm gonna stay on a little longer. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Bye.
I just want the time to
Goodbye, everybody else.
Goodbye.